Can you feel that? Yeah. Nah. I'm not talking about the beat, I'm talking about my frustration. This is evil. We can't be doing this to each other. Alright, let's do this. We trying to fight violence against women and children, but it's xenophobic attacks, we ready to kill them. Guess a child's life is of lower quality if that child isn't of your nationality.
Since the launch of multimedia last year, there was a 75% increase in web traffic. I do know that there was an incredible markup since the xenophobic violence. How the newsroom works, it's divided into pods, being the iPod age. And at a pod, you have a photographer sitting together with a news reporter, sitting together with a multimedia person. The idea is that the three people are working together to produce a package across platforms. So that it's going to work for print, work for online, work images, audio, video, slideshows, etc. So they're working with that in mind. Education is really part of our mandate, and also, unlike the other writing and photography, where there's a big pool of photographers and writers that you can choose from when hiring, there aren't multimedia journalists in South Africa. We have a dedicated advertising team. I think they're really going to take their cue from a lot of the international models, similar to the way ads are run on television. We do sell certain parts, corners of the website. I think it would make more sense to sell advertising across platforms than to just target a client for print or just for online or just for video. It's not the first special report we do. We do special reports often because it's a way to aggregate content. The idea is to give the user the content, the timeline, the pictures, the audio clips, the body counts, all the news in one place. So, that is the thinking behind it. We've done it for Zim, we did it for the SAMA Awards. So, it wasn't a new idea. That is how we operate when we have big stories. The xenophobic, the Flames of Hate, which was the first photo story that we put up, we used the photographer to narrate because we also wanted to make it more real. These questions have been raised. How are the journalists dealing with this? Why do we put these kinds of things out there when they're so graphic? And to allow people, behind the scenes, I think really creates a connection. The photographer says in that piece that he has a 2-year-old son and he's worried about his future in South Africa. And that makes it very real for the users, because it's not just some journalist out there at some publication. You know his name, you can hear his voice, it's like he's speaking to you and sharing that experience with you. Each one of our producers at the moment, we started off with Sony Handycams. A very important thing about our videos is context, because they aren't always accompanied by a story. So the way I brief everybody is that if somebody were to come across this video randomly, and there was no story attached, and there was no blurb, and there was no headline, they need to be able to watch it and understand what's going on. It's still, who, what, when, how, both sides of the stories, spelling of names, accuracy. Obviously, we have a whole lot of technical issues to deal with, sound, lighting. Actually, a situation where online generates content for the paper. We work closely on big projects, so for example, the Million Man March, strikes, anything Mandela does, xenophobia, the big running news story of the day we are covering. But we also generate our own stuff. Our big digital education program in the building is hyperlinking. If you actually see the blurbs on the multimedia portal, you'll notice that they hyperlink. And it's becoming a very, very important part of news gathering. The value of our multimedia, if I look at the international people who got in touch with me about it, is that, especially with xenophobia, the images that they saw online and the videos kind of was a wake-up call. So obviously there's that element of getting the story out there in as many ways as possible, to tell it in as many ways as possible. And then there is that whole sharing human aspect, is that people are talking to each other about stories, which you can't do in a paper. And people are using that space. It gives people an immediate dialogue and conversation. I also think people were very frustrated and angry. And a lot of those comments aren't even directed at other people. It's just the space to vent. I'm angry, I'm furious, I'm so disappointed to be a South African. I think it really is a problem, because on the one hand, like I was saying, there's the spirit of blogging, this very free and open process where you want to encourage debate, but at the same time, people do get abusive. And I mean, there have been some really dodgy, debates going on. So we've now hired someone to monitor that. A very interesting case study, the Kaya FM wedding. There was the whole debacle about him being engaged to someone else. Somebody, when we did the wedding video, this woman came on and said, "Hey, but this guy's involved with someone else." It was a comment that was the lead for us to then go investigate the story, which has now been all over the papers. And I think that's incredible, that a comment on a video on a multimedia portal generates this, entertainment scandal that the public have been lapping up. I think that's fantastic.